This live stream, I want to go ahead and thank you, every single one of you guys. Make sure you guys leave your comments in the live stream right here, as we're going to be answering them live in this video. I got another phone right here that we're going to be going through your notifications. And if you're joining or you're seeing this for the very first time and you may be wondering, who is this guy? What is he about to talk about? Why am I subscribed? Well, chances are you probably subscribed years ago, maybe even 10 years ago, as we've actually been covering the topic of starting clothing brands and running clothing businesses since 2014. Now, today we kind of shifted a lot of the perspective and we do a lot of different, creating luxury brands and doing more e-commerce marketing and design stuff. But essentially, if you followed me from before, chances are you're subscribed to this channel, and I appreciate every single one of you guys who contribute to the growth of this community. So thank you guys. And once again, we're doing this like improv live stream. We started, built out this little set, and I was like, you know what? Let me actually go live a little bit more. Let's answer you guys' questions on a more regular basis. So this is one of the many that we're going to be doing this year. Now, the purpose and the reason for this live stream, if you probably heard the title right now, it's one strategy that will change your brand. Now, I think this is one strategy that'll change your brand, but it'll potentially also change your own life. And it's very easy and simple to do. So we're going to be discussing this one in this very short live. Again, if you're joining this as in the live, make sure you drop your comment in the comment box right down below. And then that way you guys are able to, I can answer your guys' questions live. So let me head on over here. I think there's a couple of you guys joining us. So let me see. We got Kevin. We got No Impress. We got Acade, Narco Dogs. What's up from Carson City, Nevada? Okay, Carson City. That's where they got the all the jurisdictions and the courthouses and stuff, right? So interesting to hear your perspective on what it's like to live there. As I actually live in Las Vegas, so we're a little bit far out, but we're still in the same state. We got No Impress, Costa Rica. I remember you, bro. It's incredible, man. One of the trips we want to take out there over the next few years, now that my kids are growing up, is to actually go back to Costa Rica. Beautiful country, loved every moment of it. We definitely want to go back. We got Illinois in the house, Arcade. We got Tony Dixon from Toronto. What's up? What's up? A lot of things happening in Toronto. I think it's such an incredible city. Looking forward to its future. Got digital marketing, cotton candy. Brat Girl from Columbia, South Carolina. I'm assuming that's South Carolina. I'm not very good at my geography. And yes, guys, so if you're joining us live, we will be answering your guys' questions over the next few minutes. I plan to do this for about 20, 30. Whatever you guys have, the one thing I recommend whenever you do leave a question is the quality of your questions will determine the quality of your answers. So the better the question, give us a little bit of background about what you're doing. That way we can better answer what it is that you want to know. So for example, instead of just saying, hey, how do you do better marketing? It should say, hey, I have a brand in this space. I tailor to this person. They like to buy this product. How would you market this, right? That's a little bit better question, which gives you better answers. So, but again, the title of this video was one strategy that will change your brand. And like I was mentioning earlier, is definitely a strategy that I think you can implement, that if you implement will definitely change your life. So thank you all of you guys for watching. We got New Zealand in the house, man. Kia ora. Kia ora. I love it. I love it. Kia ora. What's up? I'm pretty sure you maybe seen my video. Kia ora. I said, Kia ora ese. It's that guy. If that's you, dude, that'd be awesome, man, if it's you from the video. We got Rogue and we got South Africa. Awesome, guys. So let's jump into this. Now, I built out this little studio here. The whole purpose of it was to go live more regularly. So if you guys enjoy this, let me know. And if you guys want us to do more of a regular weekly basis, please let me know. But I also want to let you guys know that we do have a free community that you can join. And we actually have it linked throughout the community post. So if you guys check out the latest community post, I actually linked it in one of the comments. And we'll try to drop it into the chat as well. I wish I would have prepared that link a little bit in advance, but we do have a free community that every single one of you guys can join. It's a great place to network, get feedback from your designs, get a little bit insight and inspiration from what other people in the community are doing, and even organize meetups between each other. I think that's one of the greatest tools that we've been able to unlock there, is that people have been able to network with each other in their own cities. So sometimes this journey can feel alone, and it can feel like you're doing it alone. So it always helps to have other people that are in your industry located within your city. And because of that, we're actually hosting our very first live workshop. We're actually going to be in-person workshop that's going down in Las Vegas. It's going to happen on April 19th. If you're a part of the From the Ground Up community, which is being retro branded to the Street Crafter community, you guys will get access to that event invitation, as well as how to join and all that good stuff. So we're gonna be doing some it's a live workshop. So we're actually gonna be doing some tutorials, some classes. We're gonna get to network, and then we're gonna do some printing and really develop your brand within a 4-hour time period. So again, join the community. I promise you guys, it'll be worth every single penny that you guys invest into it, which is free. So it'll definitely be worth every single free E that you get out of it. All right. So we got Coach Rith from Sri Lanka. We got Sarah. We got I'm gonna mess up that name. Yaya. Yaya. What's up? So thank you guys. All right. So now to the promise of the title. For all of you guys that are joining, we are live and we are taking your guys' questions. So drop them in the comment. Yaya has been watching for a very long time. I appreciate you, Yaya. Make sure you leave your comment. Let me know what you're working on in the comments down there, guys, so we can kind of really get to connect, get to learn more about each other, and get to answer your guys' questions live right now. So again, this was the title. The title of the video was the one strategy that will change your life. Why did I name it that? Why did I go live with that? I think it's oftentimes the most underrated thing that if you apply within every aspect of your life, business, brand, definitely take you the furthest. It's taken me the furthest. It's given me the biggest return on investment. So I want to share it with you guys, and hopefully you can implement it sometime this year. It's not something it's not something you could do overnight, but it's a practice that you got to practice. So we're in April now, right? So a lot of you guys may or may not know the year is broken down by quarters, right? We got quarter one, which is January through March, quarter two, April through June, and so on and so forth until the end of the year. So roughly every 3 months, Mercury goes into retrograde. No, I'm just, just kidding. I don't know if Mercury goes into retrograde every 3 months, but that's besides the point. That doesn't matter. What I meant to say is that every 3 months, it's the end of a quarter. And if you watch basketball, if you watch football, or if you watch sports, you may know that every quarter is essentially that pausing moment. It's that moment to reflect, to re-strategize, and to essentially make a new play, bring on new players, change up the last quarter in order to win the next one. And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs and brand owners, we essentially treat everything like one big year. So a lot of times we don't get to reflect until the end of the year. And this means that you don't get to strategize, you don't get to switch up strategy, you don't get to do anything new until the end of the year in December, when you realize, wow, I really messed up, or I should have done this, or I could have done that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda took you 12 months versus changing it a little bit quicker. And that's where the power of quarters come in. Now, if you're following me, this is going to lead into the one strategy that's going to essentially kind of put it all together. I'm trying to bring this all together to you. So every single quarter, January through March, you should essentially at the end of that quarter be reflecting on what happened to you that quarter, what happened with your brand, how close are you to your goals, did you reach some goals, where did you fall short? At the end of every quarter, you should be reflecting. So if you haven't reflected on the first 3 months, it's now a perfect time to do it this week. Now, once you do that reflection, you should also be planning for the next quarter. Now, you may have created a whole year of goals, right? In 2024, at the beginning of this year, you had this laundry list of goals that you wanted to accomplish. Now, again, this is the time for you to reflect on those goals and then decide which goals are you actually going to go move forward with in quarter two. Now, those goals are the ones that you got to accomplish in order for the year to work out, right? And this is where you can start to pivot, where you can start to bring in new players, you can start outsourcing, you can start doing all kinds of things in order to bring you closer to your goal. Now, I don't want to go too far into planning and all this stuff, but I want to leave this as a foundation to the one strategy I will share with you guys today, is because reflecting is one part of this strategy, all right? Once you have time to reflect and you realize, hey, quarter one was a wash, it was successful because of this, it failed because of that. Now that we enter quarter two, it's time for you to make some adjustments and some plays. So the one thing that would give you the biggest dividend, this is going to give you the biggest return on your investment, biggest return on your time, biggest return on your brand, and even in your personal life, is being able to identify the foundational tasks that you need to be doing as an entrepreneur on every single day or every single week. What do I mean by this? I mean, What are the tasks that you should be doing at home that will, at the very minimum, allow you to continue to build and grow what you're working on? Okay, so let me give you guys an example. It might be a little confusing. So, when I started my first business back when I was in college, I was living at my mom's. I was literally out of high school. At the time, I had a full-time job and I quit that to go do a mentorship, work study. I was making $20 an hour at 19 back in 2009, and I cut my pay to make $7.55. Didn't make any sense why I'd do that, but I did that because I wanted to work with somebody that had some business experience, acumen, and I found as a mentor of mine, right? So I took that sacrifice to do that. Now, that's a story for another day. Now, once I was there, it was very difficult for me to like feel like I was making progress, right? Because I wanted to start my business, I wanted to do this, but I had a part-time job, wasn't really making any money, and I was going to school full time, so it was a lot on my plate. And chances are you guys have something similar right now. Those of you guys watching may be having a lot going on with in your life, in your personal life, at work, or wherever it is that you do. There's a lot that goes on, and it's understandable. Now, you can get stuck in that rut though. It's very easy to get stuck in the rut of I go to work, I got a little bit of hours to work on my brand after work, I got to go to sleep, I got to do this XYZ, and you get stuck there. So how do you get unstuck? That's the purpose of this one strategy I want to share with you guys. So every single one of you guys who are joining, I super appreciate you guys. Yaya is in the house. God's too great. Yes, he is. Amen to that. I was part of your classes for a long time. So somebody use a bank card and I can't change my stuff to rejoin. Brat girl, bratty girl. We're gonna make sure that you reach out to support at streetcrafter.com. Hit up support at streetcrafter.com. My customer service agent will take care of you and give you access to some things. All right, so make sure you guys reach out to support at streetcrafter.com. Rogue Loco, been stalking more established competitors. All right, we got a lot of questions coming. All right, so guys, make sure you drop your questions in there. Remember, quality of your question results in the quality of your answer. So give us a little bit of backstory about what it is that you're working on, and then leave your questions so we can start answering them. But I want to get back to what I was talking about. All right, so a lot of times we're stuck in a rut, right? This means that everything that we do feels like it's not making us go any further. It's like we kind of plateau. So how do you get out of that rut? Well, it's a very understated answer, and it's very hard to do. All right, it's very difficult, but it'll give you the biggest return on your time and investment. All right, and what I mean by this is that you first have to organize your personal life. You have to organize how you structure and go about your day. What does this mean? All right, so I'm at home. I'm working a part-time job, working a minimum wage job after working and making $20 an hour, cut my pay in order to work this job to learn about business. I have my own business, I have my own brand. I'm in debt at this time because I took out a loan in order to start it and operate it. And now we're trying to figure out how to move about it. Back then there wasn't Shopify, there wasn't these videos, so we had to learn things the hard way. But what did I do? What was that thing that changed my life? The thing that changed my entire trajectory and allowed us to continue to move forward in some capacity and continue to build a community, launch another business, continue to grow the brands, um, was really in the development of systems, at home as well as in the business. Now, what does this mean? Okay, I'm in a rut. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that rut. So at home, what are the things that are preventing me from maximizing those 4 to 5 hours I get every single day? Now, granted, this is before I had kids, right? Before I had kids, I had a lot, I had 4 to 5 hours after work, after school. I was tired. I was trying to get stuff done. What would allow me at home to maximize the 4 hours I got? Because a lot of times, guys, we got to be honest with ourselves. Even though we got 4 hours to do something, chances are we're spending three of those kind of like cleaning up some mess and answering emails and text, and then we're taking our dog out for a walk. We're doing all kinds of random stuff, and then by the time you actually like log what you did, you probably worked an hour if you're honest with yourself. So now if you got 1 hour of your time that you're working, this means that you're essentially losing 3 hours every single day. It's 20 hours that you're done. You're only working a 4 hour work week, and doesn't matter what Tim Ferriss says, there's no way you can get anything done in 4 hours. So when you're starting this and when you're doing inventory of yourself, you gotta really take a look at how do I build a system at home that allows me to put more time into the business, into the brand, into what I should be doing to get myself out of this rut. because a lot of times we're spending a lot of time trying to clean up mistakes versus put the seeds and put the systems in place to move forward. So at home, systems can include simple things, guys, super simple things. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to give you the biggest return on your time and investment. I guarantee it, because every single time I go ahead and do this, whenever I move into a new house, whenever we recently got a new room, a new home, and there was laundry everywhere. I had 2 kids. I had a newborn. Life was chaotic. I think I weighed like 215 pounds, and now I'm a little bit more fit. I think I look a little different than I did a few years ago, even 3 years ago. But what was the thing that changed? It was establishing new systems. New systems at home allow you to have some time to think, allow you to have time to work, and allow you to have time to execute. Now, it's very easy to say, but very hard to implement. So I challenge you guys to start with one thing. Start with one place. Start with where you're going to work. If you don't have an office, chances are you don't. I didn't. It wasn't until right after the pandemic or whatever that I got this office. But before that, I was literally working remote. I would work at a coffee shop, work in my bedroom, work in a rented house, whatever it is, right? Wherever you currently are doing your business, I challenge you to create a system to maximize the time that you have there. This might mean cleaning out the entire bedroom, retrofitting it to make sure that you're prioritizing a workstation, right? What area are you going to go and focus? Where are you spending your time? Where are you getting your results? Can you make room for that place? All right. So for me, this meant as soon as I moved out and I got my own home, instead of having a master bedroom, like, hey, me and my wife just got married and the business is barely, making enough money for us to sustain our homes and our personal lifestyle. And we had a big master bedroom and we had one little tiny room that was about the size of this room. This is like a 10 by 10. And you know what we did? I ended up sacrificing the master bedroom and we created an office out of there. And then the little 10 by 10 foot room was where we slept. And it literally barely fit our clothes. It was cramped, but that was the stage of life. The stage of life was prioritizing where we were going to work to maximize and build on a system. So even if regardless of what space you have right now, can you declutter it? Can you organize it to allow you to actually go do your work? If you had 3 hours, can you fully maximize those 3 hours if you had a space where you just came into and you put your head down and you worked? You did the designs you had to do. You talked to the suppliers you had to talk to. You ordered the samples. You organized your shoots. There's so many things that are happening that you need to be able to execute to build your brand. But a lot of times it doesn't matter how big that list is if you're not able to get to do the work. So you have to start at home. All right. So start at home with the workspace. Biggest return on your investment will be a workspace, guys. I guarantee it. So sacrifice a little bit of your bedroom. If you currently live with somebody and you guys are rooming together, or you live in an apartment and you have roommates, make it clear that, hey, I want to organize this part of the house. Can I pitch in a little bit more? Can this dining table be my office space? Because my room doesn't necessarily have the space, but this table's free. Can I work on it? Between the hours of 12 to 3. Can you guys be respectful of that? Right? It's about being able to have people buy into your vision and into your purpose, right? And a lot of times you can't force it. You have to explain to people why the importance of that is. I had to do that at my mom's house. I had to do it when me and my wife moved in. She understood, obviously. She knew what I was about. But again, it's a very nice master bedroom and it's an office with a table in it and a bunch of samples, and it was literally a home-based business, right? So whatever you got to do, organize your personal life, organize it. Start by organizing your workspace, make it super official, and no excuses. You got to make it happen. My boy Brandon in the back right there. What did he say? Let me show that. He said, he just brought this over. He said, no excuses. So yeah, that's really where it's at. You gotta make some sacrifices up front in order to build a system in your life. Now, once you get your workspace organized, once you get that initial workload organized, the next system you have to build in your personal life is a good working relationship with everybody in your family or the people that live with you. You have to have those relationships intact wherever you live. Unless you live by yourself, then just make sure you got a good relationship with your neighbor so he's not pissed off that UPS is essentially dropping off all these boxes to you, or there's a lot of movement and you don't get the HOA called on you, or whatever it is, right? build relationships with the people that are going to be in your vicinity. Let them know what it is that's going on. You don't have to tell them all your business, but as long as they know, hey, this is what this guy does. I respect it. He's not dealing drugs. Cool. We're going to leave him alone. We're going to let him be. All right. So that's honestly the very first thing you guys should do. Organize your space at home, work on your business, work on your craft, maximize the time that you do get, because that's what's going to allow you to get out of your rut. All right. And we have some comments here, so I want to go ahead and address those. If you guys are just joining, make sure you guys leave the comments in the chat down below. We're gonna be diving into some of your questions right now. Again, the quality of your questions determines the quality of the answer. The better the answer, the better the question, the better the answer. All right, so money is not the problem. All right, we got another letter right here. Money is not the problem. Yeah, more money, more problems. A lot of times it's just what we do with our time, guys. That's honestly the biggest return that you're going to get. And in order to maximize your time, you got to maximize your space. Like if you can get clarity with what is supposed to happen there and you respect it every day and you use it every day, you're going to get out of that rut. I guarantee it. You just have to focus on making that happen. It's the hardest thing to do. And then with that, you can then move that system into your business. So when it comes to you working the business side, you look at what systems do I have to do every single day in order for the brand to move forward? Does this mean that I have to do outreach to influencers once a day? First part of the morning, we got to start locking in some deals for promotions. Does this mean that at the very minimum, I should be running a couple ads every week? So do I have to build a creative for it? There's certain pillars of your brand and business that have to happen in order for your business to take off or to continue to grow. And if you don't do them and you're wondering why you're not getting traffic, why you're not getting sales, why people aren't talking about you, it's because you never built it as a routine in your brand. So it doesn't matter how many videos you guys watch of people telling you how to market, how to take photography, how to do ads. If you don't take the time to schedule it into your day-to-day life, it's never going to happen and your life is never going to change. So honestly, guys, that's the one big thing that will definitely radically change your brand, your business, your future, is just building a system to do what you're planning to do. Because there's a quote out there, and I don't know who said it, but the quote is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. This means that it doesn't matter how big your goals are, you can never rise to the occasion there. But you're guaranteed, you could rarely rise to the level of the occasion to reach your goals, but you're guaranteed to fall to the systems that you have in place. We all have highs. We have like, yo, I feel incredible. I feel amazing. And you're going for it. You're getting it. And it feels like today you did amazing. And then tomorrow you get something happens to your life. Somebody rear ends you. Your car is totaled. You got let go of your job. Whatever happens, there's something that's going to derail you. So the systems that you put in place are there to help you keep moving forward. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And the systems are the habits and the routines that you built into your life and into your business that are going to allow you to move forward. So again, super underrated. It's very hard to do, but I highly encourage that you guys give it a shot. Reflect on the last 3 months of what happened. And now for this next quarter, make it a priority for you to organize your space, organize your time, and really do the most that you can with it. So leave a comment down below if you're going to say, I'm in it, let's get it. Type in the comments down below, let's get it, if this is something that you're about to start working on and you're about to start doing this quarter. And again, if you're new to this channel, or if you're currently looking to start a brand and you just dived into this video, we have content that essentially starts your clothing brand, helps you navigate it, print on demand, making it from home, printing it from home, all kinds of different ideas, concepts, business models, experts that are on the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and more importantly, check out the community post that we have on in the actual page. There's going to be a link to a community, a free community that we have that's outside of YouTube. So join that. We actually have some incredible events happening, one of which is happening in Las Vegas, April 19th. That's going to go down at a local print-on-demand print shop. So if you're from Vegas or know somebody in Vegas, let them know to join the community. Either way, join it, guys, because we're probably going to be live streaming it in the app to give you guys access to that as well, so you guys can hear, follow along, and continue building your brand. So it's like a 4-hour workshop. It's happening in Vegas, happening April 19th. So join the free community. And now let's dive into some of these questions. All right, so we got, let me see, updating website right now. We're gonna go to Rogue. I've been stalking more established competitors, and I feel like my brand and products suck in comparison. How do I stop comparing myself and just trust in my own stuff? Soon getting our 1,000 for this year. Main challenge is having a huge stock for paid ads to return dozens of sale. Okay, that's such a good question, man. Rogue, Luco, thanks for reaching out, for being honest, transparent, because it is something. We live in a society where we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else, right? So the first question is, how do I stop my comparing myself and trust in my own stuff? All right. There's good comparison and bad comparison. Let me break this down. Good comparison means that you're using it as a guidepost to where you want to be. Right? There's some people that have been in business for many years, right? Or even if they just recently started that business, chances are they had a background of a lot of businesses, a lot of years that went into that new business. So whenever you compare yourself, you should never compare yourself to anybody because you don't know what position they're in, what their background was, what resources they have versus the resources you have. So to begin with, there's good comparison. There's such things. There's things. There's a word called jealousy and envy. It's okay to be jealous, definitely not okay to be envious. Jealousy allows you to be like, yo, I'm jealous of what you're doing. It's awesome. I'm going to get it. Envy is, wow, that is not cool that you're doing that. I blah, 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 right? You know exactly where envy leads you. It's hate. Where jealousy can be used as motivation. Like, dude, I love it. I'm jealous that you get to do that, but you know what? I'm going to do it next. Still not a good word, not a good word to use, but at the end of the day, jealous versus envy. And in this example, comparison, there's good comparison, which means, hey, this is a guiding post. You're motivating me to do this. Thanks. And you're using that as reference material to how you're going to be marketing. All right. The other comparison is like using it as it beating you down. You don't want to do that. So make sure that you're always, whenever you are doing comparisons, you're essentially just saying, hey, is this person's way better? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. What did they do differently? Right? You can learn from them. You can learn from comparison because you can see, hey, what did they do on this ad? Wow, they did something pretty interesting. You could diagnose, you could see what worked for them, and then you can create something new. You can create something different off of it. So it's okay to compare yourself, but don't use it as a way to like knock yourself down. All right. So, and then how do you trust on your own stuff? Trust comes through trust. You build trust with your own. Trust comes from yourself after you execute and do what you said you're going to do. Right. So trust comes from you being able to hold yourself to doing what you said you were going to do. And then you also, of course, got to have trust in the one above, the one in God. That's who I trust the most, because if you just trust and you can move forward with what you're supposed to do, things start falling in place. So again, you got to have trust in yourself. You got to trust in something, if it's faith or whatever it is to you. Make sure that you have trust. You place your trust in a good place. And more importantly, that trust is built with yourself over time by doing what you said you're going to do. So the more you do, the most you're going to trust yourself. And then obviously the sales come through that. You're gonna have a gut feeling that this is good. I'm on the right track. All right, so let's move to the next one. We got Devin McLean. What's going on? We got man, I don't want to butcher any names. We got Malensky. Yeah, I'm gonna mess that one up. Guala. What is the easiest way to start my clothing line? All right, easiest way to start, print on demand. Check out the latest video. There's all kinds of different tools, but we do one on TikTok Shop. We're gonna link it in the after the thing goes live. But for now, there's a bunch of videos on TikTok. There's print on demand content. It's the easiest way to do it. No Impress is updating the site right now. Please let me know when it goes up. We got Black Shell. I want to create a brand buy in Amazon, but Amazon not accept Morocco. Yes, there are limitations to selling in the U.S. sometimes. And in order to go past them, you have to establish a U.S. business. Now, when it comes to establishing U.S. businesses, you do want to keep in mind that you're using a reputable registration business. They got to be able to give you a registered agent. And then you also need to be on top of the fees that they're going to pay you. So if you're doing business in Morocco and you want to do business in the U.S., you have to establish a legal entity in the U.S. And then oftentimes you also have to get like a address that's a physical mailing address. And sometimes it's even an office. So if you're outside the US wanting to do business in the US, you do have to go through a reputable business organizer and formation. They'll be able to guide you and kind of connect you to the resources in order to establish your businesses and get approved for Amazon, TikTok Shop, and all these other platforms. All right, so I'm trying to establish a brand. So Tony Dixon, I'm trying to establish a brand that highlights made in Canada, but sourcing blanks locally is providing costly, which makes the final price really high. Please advise. You know what's really interesting about Tony? I mean, what I find really interesting about Canada. I went to Canada back right after during the pandemic, and shut down. Really nice people. You guys are awesome. But it's a very interesting place because I always thought that, Drake is from there. So you kind of think that the culture and the industry was a lot bigger than it was, and it really wasn't. So it caught me by surprise. But I definitely see the movement of Canada and Toronto specifically growing. So when it comes to, sourcing quality blanks, I definitely understand that. I would recommend, so like working with a print partner that's in your area that has access to a big catalog. What does this mean? Sometimes if you're trying to buy the blanks yourself, it's gonna be expensive for you to get it in because you got to pay the duty or the tax or whatever it may be. But if you're working with somebody that's already sourcing and you're able to either buy or use their print shop, they're going to essentially pass those savings on to you. And in Toronto, I actually had a video. So if you look up my video on like how to start an international clothing brand, I think that's the name of the title. We actually go to Toronto and we work with a print shop there called Entropy. Now, Entropy is run by some really cool dudes. They're really good people out there, super connected, really nice guys. And they also run a platform called Slate Print on Demand. So it's SLAITE, Slate Print on Demand. Check them out if you're in Toronto. They actually have connections to a lot of different blanks and suppliers. They carry a lot of different products. So I would source from them to begin with and just start your brand and start putting out some good quality products. I hope that helps. Let me know if you need to get a hold of anybody there. Join our community because I'll even bring the guy on. I think it'd be kind of cool for him to come on the live stream in the near future. All right, so okay, how do you determine if God's too great? How do you determine if specific designs you create will sell or if people would like them? Such a good question. Now, in the past, you'd have to make your own designs, then you'd have to bring it to market and see if anybody would buy them. But now there's two methods. There's two methods here, all right? So if you're currently wondering, hey, if you okay, so there's like a three-step process, all right? And I'm gonna give you two methods. The first step is to design something, right? So if you have sketches of something, that's not enough to get your idea across. You got to create a graphic design for it. So once you get the graphic design, the next thing is to create a mock-up, an illustration, a line sheet. Create the designs on a mock-up. And what's a really cool tool is something like Kittl. Kittl allows you to make mock-ups super simple and allow you to create line sheets really easily. And I have some videos on my channel that'll allow you to do that. Now, if you're not a designer, there is AI designs on Kittl that allow you to literally start putting your designs to life really quickly. And we'll dive into more details on a future video with that. But once you get your mock-ups and then you start showing it to people, chances are people are going to be like, yo, I like that. I like this one. But can I see it? Do you have a size, right? So the next thing you got to do is you got to place a sample order. Now, you don't always got to place a sample order, but when you're just getting started, you have to show people that it's real. So your question is, how do you determine if somebody would like them? And they essentially have to buy them. So if they say, hey, I want to buy that, and they give you money, that means that you're onto something. If they say, oh, that's really cool, you should follow up with, awesome, what's your size? And then they should be like, oh, I'm a large. Okay. And then they should ask you, how much is it? And you tell them, hey, it's going to be 20. It's going to be 25. It's going to be 30. It's going to be 35. Throw a number out there, see what they say. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And they say, what would you buy it for? And if they say, man, I'd buy this if it was 25 bucks. Boom, you got a product with a design at a price that somebody's willing to pay. That allows you to essentially know, okay, I got to sell these designs for 25 bucks. Now you can go back and figure out which blank you need to use, what the quality control of it needs to be, who needs to make it, et cetera, et cetera. That's how you build a business. You don't necessarily have to just put something out and just say it's going to be 40 bucks and then you get no sales. If somebody's willing to buy something at 25, then you need to find a way to make it work at 25. All right. But in order to answer your question, how do you determine if specific designs will sell or if people will like them? They should want to buy them. And if they don't buy them at the price that you say, what price are they willing to buy it at? And then once they say I'd buy it at 25 bucks, get that card registered, get the Square app, get the cash, Venmo, whatever you got. Have them transfer that money and then deliver that product. All right, to deliver the product, you got two different methods. So actually three. Well, there's a couple. We'll just cover two main ones. The first one is that you make it yourself. And this is what we call the street crafter way, right? It's the way that people are crafting. They're literally crafting streetwear brands, luxury brands from home using things like press art, which is DTF sheets or vinyls, in order to craft your own designs. Now you can make it yourself and start sampling yourself and start making designs that you can get to that person for 25 bucks. Because if you buy a gang sheet, you design it out, you buy some blanks, your total cost for a tube hit can really vary between 6 to 10 bucks for a t-shirt. And if you flip that for 25, you're making 15 bucks on each order. And the beauty about it is that every print on demand platform is now doing it the same method. But you don't have to own any equipment. You don't got to do any of that. All you got to do is place your orders. And that's why we created Street Crafter, because we wanted to be able to connect you guys, give you the power to print from home, just like all the professional print shops do. And all you need is a clothing iron or a heat press. We're going to be diving into more of a live streams and trainings on how to do that. But check out streetcrafter.com, upload your designs, order your gang sheet, pick up some blanks, and now you can print your own products. That's one method. The second method is to essentially upload your graphic designs to a print-on-demand platform like Printful or Gelato or Applique, and then essentially have them make the product and ship it to your customer. So two different methods. One is essentially making it from home. The other is sourcing it to a print-on-demand platform. There is a third one, which is doing a screen print and a bulk on demand. And I highly encourage that you guys check out the masterclass we recently launched. I put that up in like January. It's the one with the red hat. Check that video out because I cover the 4 major plays that you got. So if you're new to it, watch that video. We cover the starting process. We cover your profit margins. We cover your marketing costs, advertisements. We even show you how to run ads on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Incredible video. Honestly, one of my masterpieces. It took me over 6 months to make that video possible. So appreciate the love, the support, the shares, and the comments if you guys had a chance to watch that one. All right. So we got a good amount. What do you think? Create website, Shopify or WordPress? I would go Shopify. We're just going to rapid fire some of these questions. Shopify is definitely the place where you need to be if you're going to be selling online and on other marketplaces. Okay, so we got that's a quote from Atomic Habits, James Clear. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. James Clear, Atomic Habits, guys. Game-changing book. If you like to read, if you're a reader of any kind and you like business books, I encourage you to buy the physical version of it because you're literally going to be swiping back and forth. I love that book. Last time I read it was last year. Has some really good insights and concepts in there. Starting a Christian brand and I'm getting 12 shirts made each month. They come up to $14.50. Next level shirts. How much would you price the shirts to be able to make a profit? So in our latest video, which is the one where, what did I title it? One of the videos where it's $0, me wearing a blue sweater. In that video, I actually break down a profit calculator and I give you a couple of different plays if you're doing this exact method. So I'd highly encourage that you check that out. When it comes to like what price you should sell products at, guys, I get this question all the time. And the prices that you sell a product are going to vary. And it all depends on your strategy. It depends on what marketing strategy you're going to put in place. So I highly encourage that you check out that video because I do want to answer it, but I think it's going to take a little bit of explaining, but I'll give you just like the rough outline. Essentially, when you're going to a store, all right, let's think about a store for a second. Let's think about any store. Let's think about a random store like a grocery store. All right, so when you're going to the Walmart, local Walmart, your mom told you to go pick up a gallon of milk, right? Or your wife or your significant other, and you're going to the gallon of milk. The gallon of milk costs like $4.57. You're buying that, but the store is only making like literally 5% on their profit margin on that. But because you walked into their store to get that gallon of milk, you're literally going to buy some Oreos. Guarantee you might pick up some liquor. You're going to pick up all kinds of random stuff. And your bill is going to be like $50 if you go to CVS. And they're going to give you that big ass receipt that's like literally a freaking, I don't know what's on that thing, but it's got so many coupons and nobody ever uses them. I wonder why they still print it. But yes. So a gallon of milk is going to cost you $4.50. The store only made 5% markup on that on average, maybe 10. But you picked up 40 to 50 bucks worth of other stuff where they got 3, 2, 3, 4 times of a markup percentage, right? In terms of a percent of profit. So when it comes to pricing your product, you got to determine what is going to be your loss leader, what are you bringing people in the door with, and what are you making profits on. All right, so it's a strategy, it's a pricing strategy, and your brand and your business needs to have pricing strategies. So I highly encourage that you go check out that video where I'm wearing a blue sweater, and there's a clothing rack with $0 in red. Check out that video. I think it was like 2 or 3 videos before. I know you're going to enjoy it. You can skip around to it, skip to the pricing strategy part. I dive into a lot of details there. But I hope that explanation helped. You should definitely have a pricing strategy. Not every product you're going to sell is going to have a high profit margin, but you need to know which products are going to get people in the door, people buying, people saying, oh, cool, I want that. Oh, let me also buy this. Let me buy this hat. Hats are great products to make incredible margins on. They cost somewhere like $6, $7 to make, maybe $8, and you can resell them for 25, 30. So really good markups. T-shirts sometimes are limited. You might get a $15 all-in cost. Your audience and your customer may only be willing to spend $25 on it. And if you determine what price they're willing to spend it at, you got to price it there. And then your other products you can make more margin on. Maybe you bring in a luxury heavyweight blank, and now you're selling a luxury hoodie for 80, 90 bucks. Your t-shirts are 30, your hats are 40. You have a little marketing and a promotional pricing strategy. So you definitely need to have that, and I encourage you guys to check out that video where we dive into more details. All right, let's see. Amen for print on demand. CD Halo, I appreciate you guys. I'm broke after this, but sub, guys. Hey, we all start somewhere. I appreciate the $2, brother. Sub to Hims. Thanks. What's your favorite color? That's such a random question. I would say probably like a charcoal black. Kind of like all the colors, but I think gravitate to more neutral colors. That's such an interesting question. What is a good strategy to hit our first 5K in sales? Okay. So if I remember correctly, No Impress, you got a line of products. They're in Costa Rica. I'm trying to remember the actual design. I remember what you were working on from like 2 years ago. I would say if you haven't already done something especially in the local base, I know Costa Rica is such an interesting market, right? I've been there. I was there for a few months. Love the country, love the culture. But then you have like these pockets of U.S. tourism, and you have like all the locals, right? So if you're primarily selling in a country like this where you're not in the U.S. but you have a brand and you want to sell it, a lot of times the easiest path to profitability is to find a product, create a product that the locals are going to buy. So does this mean that, hey, I'm going to put it along the more touristy spots? I'm going to work with some boutiques and retailers on those locations that you identify, especially Costa Rica. It's a big country, but it's not a huge country. And if you really, really if you're really committed to it, you could probably hit up the more popular local locations and then work on some partnerships with the shops and boutiques there to be their supplier. So whether it's some tourism T-shirts or even just like collaborations with the local artists. Sometimes boutiques like to have like very interesting pieces. And you can be one of the brands that supply those interesting pieces to the tourists that are coming in there that are willing to spend 50, 60, 70 bucks for a product. So just because your local market isn't willing to pay those higher prices doesn't mean that you can't sell those higher prices to people that are in that country that are touring. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I go to either Mexico or a different country and I see a product and it's like 70 bucks and I'm like, whoa. I know where it's made, and I always look at the label, and it's usually made in China. So whenever it's crazy. Every country you go to for a lot of times, usually made in China, and they're selling it to tourists. So most of the times you will never catch me buying anything from there unless my wife really loves it and she says, I've been looking for this online. They're selling this for 110. She knows how things work. So she likes to pick up deals as well. But if it's locally made, if it said made in Costa Rica by local artisans, and you can like find a way to track that, hey, this was made here, you're willing to spend a premium on it because you know it's actually going to a local artist, a local business. So position yourself as a premium brand within a tourist destination or local shops that sell to these would be your fastest way to start generating some sales, and it'll be a good way to start building your brand throughout the country, which can then be exported to another country. Um, okay, let's see. Yeah, stop telling people to use a home iron. Thank you, thank you. I do, Coach JM. Yeah, home irons are a good place to start. You know me, you know the history of what we do. We never let obstacles like not having $300 for a heat press get in the way. Started from the bottom. Our whole concept, our whole idea for the channel was from the ground up, right? We started that way. How can you start it? Make by with $50, $60. Don't need to spend 300 until you prove it out. But yes, once you start making some money, guys, you got to invest into the proper equipment to help streamline your operations, but more importantly, get better quality to your customers. So home irons are inconsistent in the heating temperature and the heating element, but once you make your first t-shirt and you sell it, you could see that reinvestment ability to make more money. So we never like to have anything stop you, which is why I always say you could start with a home iron. It's not the way you want to end. You start there, but you move up. All right, guys. So then we got my man. We got Miguel Hernandez. Appreciate you, Miguel. Please say hello, Julik Fife. Oh man, I always mess up people's names. I want to say it's Julik Fifke. Fifik. Julik Fifik. I mess up names. I apologize, but hello, how's it going? Okay, 10% on our sale. We got Julie. What's your name? John Santos. You skipped my cotton candy. Okay, we got Cotton Candy. We had a question from Cotton Candy. We're about to get to it, guys. If you're joining us, come through, drop your questions. I have a clothing line. All right, we're going to answer Cotton Candies. I have a clothing line, but I cannot find a jean manufacturer. I need samples made too. Suggestions. Okay, so jean manufacturers. There's definitely a lot of them. When it comes to sourcing in the US, you're always going to have a higher price, right? It's always going to be a higher price, and it's always going to be, typically, is usually means it's going to be higher minimums. Now, you could get better quality control this way because most denim manufacturers in the US actually pride themselves on the craftsmanship. It's something that they have to do to stand out from the overseas suppliers. So when it comes to the denim manufacturer for jeans, they're gonna want to see that you're established of some kind, right? You got to have a website, you got to have an Instagram, you got to have a social presence, you got to have a following. They're very picky about who they do business with. So even if you find somebody, and even if I recommended you to somebody, they're essentially going to try to vet you out before they even get on a phone with you. Like they don't accept anybody's orders. And the reason for that is because the people that are doing business with them are literally giving them hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of orders because it's made in the USA and it's denim from the US. So US based denim is going to be pretty hard to get into. But if you are legitimized or if you have a good following, please join the link is going to be, hey Brandon, can you type the link in there? Actually, let me type the link. I'm going to type it right here, guys. If you have a following, if you got a business that's established and you're looking to do denim manufacturing, I got one of the best denim manufacturers probably on the West Coast. I don't recommend him. I don't ever share his info because he only works with select brands. But the brands, if you've kind of like proven out yourself and you know you're serious about it and you're able to meet some minimums, incredible manufacturer, amazing. He works out of downtown LA. He can source for fabric, dye fabric. You bring him your own fabric. Incredible, really good craftsmanship, and I verified that he's got some pretty legit boutique and retail brands that he's working with. So what's really cool is that he is a from the ground up guy, so he does understand the growth. But again, you got to have a website, you got to have an Instagram, you got to have some kind of social following. Because when it comes to doing business in the US, people are a little weary about taking on new customers. But then again, if you go overseas, you could definitely test Alibaba. Alibaba's out there. You're going to want to hit the verified sellers, just filter through verified sellers. That way you can get some verified sellers there. They're going to have a minimum quantity, maybe 50, 100 units. You can start to kind of gamble in that space as well. Denim manufacturing is a craft. But there is a lot of it out there, so don't feel discouraged. But if you guys are joining, we do have a free community. I just linked it through the Street Crafter. I think Street Crafter just linked it. It's called community.ftgu app. Type that into your browser. Once you guys do that, you're able to actually join the communities. Just hit submit, hit the request. One of members on our team are going to approve you. Once you're in there, you're essentially you can connect with people, you can ask your questions, ask for feedback, join our live streams. We have a live meetup happening in Vegas. If you're in Las Vegas, come out April 19th. We're going to release the news on the app. So you guys, it's a first come, first serve, limited seating. It's a 4-hour workshop. And we're not charging $1,000. We're not charging any of that. It's literally going to be, hey, just get your supplies that you're going to need to make your brand in those 4 hours that we got together. So we're going to hook you guys up. Happening in Vegas, April 19th. All right. Now we got tourism stuff. That's confirmation right there. I have some sketches. Incredible. No, I'm impressed. I appreciate you. Are you? No, Jake, I'm not, man. All right. So grateful for you. Oh, yeah, look. Oh, it is a dope. How much to change copyright images to not get sued? You got to change them drastically. All right. So I think that's a good question to ask in the next live. Do the thug shake. I'm glad to see you, John. Paul, good to see you as well. Guys, if you're just joining this live stream, we went in for the last like 40 minutes or so. 50 minutes into this short live stream. Is going to be available on the replay. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you guys join the community. It's free of charge. All you got to do is head on over to community.ftgu app, and then you can join for free. Remember, yes, did I lose weight? I did lose some weight. Thanks for noticing. You know, my last videos, I think I was 215. Earlier in this video, we talked about the one key thing that's going to change your life and brand. And we talked about systems, and essentially how important it is to establish them in order to hit your goals. So it's going to be available on the replay. I highly encourage that you guys watch that section. It was about 5-10 minutes into the video. Rewatch that, leave a comment down below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and join that community down below so we can continue working with you guys. All right, my battery is about to die, so we're about to log off here. Hope you guys have an incredible evening. I'm looking forward to the next live stream, and hope you guys are doing well as well. All right, guys, we'll see you guys on the next one.